Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another exciting episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Four continents down, two more to go. No cap, straight facts. The worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. See, we have a special event happening today. It's already actually the 11th over here in New York. Um, Bobby, I know it's 9 o'clock, a little past 9 o'clock, well, almost half past nine over in California.
Yeah.
But we have WWE Crown Jewel going on, and let me tell you, for the first time ever in the history since this event began, which was way back in 2018, they're going to be emanating from Perth, Australia, which is the western side of Australia. So I take it Sydney. I've never been to Australia before, but so I take it Sydney is actually the eastern side. But they're going to be taking place from there. And, in all honesty, I got to say we're lucky because, we're getting an early pay per view. I mean, if you're not an early bird, it's going to kind of suck. But we're getting an early pay per view because 8 a.m. in the morning, we'll be getting a WWE a pay per view, a wrestling pay per view. And I gotta say, man, I never in all my years of being a wrestling fan, which is what 35 years, I never thought I would have actually seen um, a pay per view that starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. We've seen Bobby. I know you've seen you know wrestling shows early in the morning, but a whole pay per view, that's wild, dude.
Yeah, remember they used to have a WWE I think it's called Live Wire. It came out like at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't remember that. Then again, I think I was still in Guyana at the time. In Guyana, it was kind of weird. Like they kind of like the freeness of American television. We didn't really have it in Guyana, obviously because we're South American.
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't really. But I heard a live wire, but when it came out, I was over in Guyana, and we never really got all the wrestling programs in that
That
country.
show they had a lot of Lita and S.A. Rios was on it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I remember those two, especially S.A. Rios. S.A. Rios was he man. If he were around in WWE today, man, he would have gone so far. I just know it.
Yeah.
But yes. So in case you didn't joining me tonight, actually, instead of Rob and Kathy, who I promise you I did not fire them. They're going to be back soon. But joining us is actually one of my good friends from my days in South Florida. I've known this man for 20 years. Everybody, welcome to the show, Bobby Stryker. Bobby, how you feeling tonight, man?
I'm good, man. Just a little tired, but I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, for those of y'all, I apologize for the very late start. Like I said, today was New York Comic Con. And I was like, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that know me personally, you know me already. But for those of you that don't know, I'm also a comic book fan as well. I've been reading comics for, I think, ever since I was 9 or 10. So, you know, I've always been just interested in them. And I like going to Comic Con and supporting not just Marvel and DC, but also the independent artists that are, that decided, hey, something, I'm going to do this on my own and, see how it, pans out. So I like that. And, I really go out to support them as well. And I'm also a photographer. So I just decided to go there to actually network with, some possible future models. So yeah, I just came back from that. And I'm going to say this right. I'm going to digress a bit. If there is a Comic Con going on in your city, I know they're all over the place. I think you have Steel City Comic Con, which is in Pittsburgh, Emerald City Comic Con, which is over in Seattle, which is another great place. Shout out to the great folks in Seattle, or the Alamo City Comic Con in San Antonio, and so on and so on. I believe the one in Florida, South Florida, what was it called? SuperCon. I could be
uh,
wrong.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but there's definitely one in South Florida. I know there's. Oh, Bobby, you're in San Diego. You're
Yeah,
lucky. You got one of the biggest ones, San Diego Comic Con. So if
James
there's
Con, yeah, all the cons.
yeah, you even have some con men too that try to steal your money. But
Yeah.
man, I tell you, if you know, you know. But yeah, if there's a Comic Con in your area, man, check it out, man. You'll see a lot of cool stuff. I promise you. Even if you're not a nerd, just check it out. You will not regret it. But back to what we were talking about, Crown Jewel, man. Bobby, I gotta ask you, man, how do you feel about this card in general? I mean, I know a lot of people were like complaining.
I
Oh,
uh I think it's different because there's no titles online, but I think it's kind of like a standing point. Like, where are you in the company? What I seeing with this one,
okay,
like, how far can you get without being like? It's like a title. It's like champions for champions, pretty much. You know?
yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be like Survivor Series kind of ish, but not quite as big.
I like it. I'm all for it. Um, Ladies, I don't want to hear nothing about. Oh, I'm not watching. It's not in Saudi Arabia this time. It's going to be in Perth. It's going to be in Perth, Australia. So unless you have something personally against Australia, which I've never heard anybody say they have something against Australia, unless of course they've been there or they're from there. Yeah, watch the pay-per-view. Okay. But I'm just glad that Australia is getting this. I'm happy for them. You know, they're from what I've seen, they have a pretty decent wrestling scene down there. I mean, Bronson Reed, for all my New Japan Pro Wrestling fans, most of TMDK, or at least that's that TMDK is from there, or at least that's where they started. So I'm really glad for Australia. No jealousy, and I hope they knock it out of the park. And I hope that we hear a lot of loud chants from them, so that we can get to go back there. And because like I said, every continent deserves wrestling, man. And I hope that they make it over to South America, and or hopefully do some more shows in Africa and all that. So, but yeah, very happy for Australia. And with that being said, we have 5 matches. I know it's going to be 5 huge matches. And Bobby, you know what the funny thing about this whole show is?
Well,
By the time it's brunch, it's gonna be over. Like by like,
yeah,
you're gonna be sitting
I'm
down.
probably not. I'm probably not gonna watch it live, to honestly.
By the time it's like 11 o'clock, oh snap! It's time for lunch, man. Let me or brunch. Let me see what there is, and you can get some bacon and eggs, and you know, s- for ladies, y'all might like some mimosas with that. And I know that's a lot of y'all's go to thing for brunch. But yeah, 5 matches. So Bobby, you already know the drill. You've been on here long enough. So for those of you that don't know, we're gonna go through each match. We're gonna give our opinions around the room, and then afterwards we're gonna give a general prediction as well as to what else we think is gonna happen at the card. And if you're watching right now, I know it's midnight. If you're still watching and you're in America, thumbs up. I tip my hat off to you. I tip my hat off to you if I had my hat on, but I don't. But if not, for those of you that are watching from whatever part of the world, I know it's morning in some of y'all's areas. Feel free to give your comments and predictions as well. So let's get the ball rolling. So the first match we have is an Australian street fight, and it's going to be the tribal chief, the original tribal, the OTC, the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns, the head of the table, versus the tribal. I can't really call this man that. I would not call him that. That's his face. The tribal chief, Bronson Reed. They're going to be duking it out in an Australian street fight. So I wonder if this means they're going to fight all the way out in the outback, or
I wonder. Once they do street fights, they're back in the day used to like add the arena and fight. They don't do
yeah.
that anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, these arenas are big though, man. I mean, you know how long it takes for them to get out of an arena. Like Come on, bro. You've been to like I know you've probably been to at least one WrestleMania, or you've been to like one of the wrestling shows that were like at where probably wherever the
The only
Miami
pay per view
played.
I've been to was Worlds Collide this year, and I've been to Armageddon back in '99.
Okay, yeah, but
That's all.
but Bobby, you know those arenas are huge, man. The
Yeah,
basketball arenas, the basketball stadiums, the baseball stadiums, the football stadium, they're all huge. So it would take a lot for them to fight all the way outside, you know.
I remember when
But
Austin and Booker T like fought in the grocery store and stuff like that.
yeah,
But they didn't do it no more, but
oh yeah.
that was Vince McMahon's deal, not Triple H.
Vince McMahon was a crazy man. He was a crazy man with the storylines. But yeah, okay. So Bobby, who you got for this one, man?
Uh, I usually go with Roman, but this time I'm going with Bronson Reed because in Bronson Reed's home turf, and I think that Bronson Reed needs this win more than Roman needs it because what does Roman really have left to prove? He's done everything, and Bronson Reed is with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and all them. I did try to push them to get tag titles from Judgment Day, so it'd be good for him to win.
I'm surprised they haven't pushed them to do that yet, but I think they're good. I mean, you've already seen them wearing matching spike leather jackets, so it wouldn't surprise me if that's the next thing they do after Crown Jewel.
Yeah,
Honestly speaking, I think I think Roman Reigns is gonna win this. I think he's gonna win this. I think he's had enough of the tribal thief, and I think he's gonna whoop some. He's gonna put a whooping on Bronson Reed. So I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns to win this one.
honestly, I would rather see him fight Braun Breaker. To be honest,
But you know what? Speaking of Braun Breaker, I'm sure he's gonna get involved in this, and of course Jey Uso is gonna come out and he's gonna help his cousin out. And I'm sure Jimmy's gonna be somewhere lurking around, probably shaking his head like, "Man, you don't turn into Roman, man. One thing you shouldn't."
yeah,
But you know something I gotta say, Jimmy's one to talk. When Jey Uso was going through what he was going through with Roman, he was nowhere around. He was injured. He wasn't the one that got the tribal beat down. It was actually Jay. So I mean,
he
I don't
saved Jay
know.
from getting there. Remember when he came in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know why Jimmy's like this, but I honestly speaking though, I hope that Jimmy gets a chance to be his own person and get a title win and so on. I mean, I know people don't think much of Jimmy, but honestly speaking, from what I've seen, Jimmy has a lot more charisma than Jay. Don't get me wrong, Jay has proven that he's more than just the other Uso because before this whole tribal bloodline tribal chief debacle they had, people were like, I'm sure people were like, okay, we know Jimmy's been on, Total Divas with his wife Naomi. We know, but who's Jay? Jay, oh, that's the other Uso. But Jay has risen up to the point where he's like, nah, y'all gonna put some respect on my name and give me my own identity. So, but now it's like Jay is more popular than Jimmy. But I hope Jimmy gets his chance, man.
I see. I don't think he's gonna be a world champ. I see him as like a
Yeah,
US or something.
yeah, even that's acceptable. I wouldn't mind. I just don't want the man to be the other brother, man.
Yeah,
You know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns to actually to pull off this win. I don't see Bronson winning unless I don't know this. But yo, you know what would be kind of neat? Maybe this is me thinking out loud. If Paul Heyman were to get in Jay's ear and tell him he could be leader of the division. Somehow, something happens, and they end up putting Jay in the spot where Seth was, and
I don't see that happening.
that would be funny. I mean, Jake could probably pull it off. Pull it off. I mean,
You think Jay's gonna be ever world champion again? I don't see that happening.
he did it before. He could probably do it again.
He held it
And
for months.
and Bobby, you and I know we've seen people who we never thought would have been world champion. We've seen people who were boring as world champions. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna hold my tongue. The Jinder Mahal. For some reason, I respect what the man has done, but his world title career just wasn't it for me. I was like, okay,
They did that for India when they were
you
in
know,
there like a month because he didn't have that long at all there.
and like I said, this is not insulting him, but I just feel like, yeah, but even then, they could have done more for him, you know. And like before him, it was like JBL's title reign was didn't do much for me. But
That was too long. JBL.
looking back at it, it wasn't really that bad. But like I said, probably could have done a bit more. But yeah, Jay's not the best. Jay's not, Jay, his title run wasn't really that bad. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't that bad.
Well, Gunther even told him. Gunther said, if you're going to fight all these battles that you have to fight, you're going to lose, and that's exactly what
Dude,
happened.
you see if that man when that man comes back, Seth Rollins better not be champion because I'm going to be sorry for his chest. He is going to chop the hell out of him. He's going to chop the hell out of Braun. I know Braun don't want that smoke. Braun is not ready for that smoke. That's something his dad and his uncle couldn't even train him for. A man like Gunther, I don't think Rick and Scott ever fought a man like that.
They
Yeah.
fought Yokozuna.
Hmm?
They fought Yokozuna.
Bro, all Yokozuna did was bonsai and super kicks. This is Gunther we're talking about. A man who will stretch you out, a man who is intense.
Yeah.
He's like the Ivan Drago, what Ivan Drago was to boxing. But I must say, you know, I I really appreciate Gunther, and I'm looking forward to him returning. And
But you
I'm
said
all
Gunther was a boring champion to you, though. Didn't you say that?
no, he was interesting. He
You
wasn't
thought it was,
boring.
but you thought it was me boring.
The only time I thought he was boring was probably in WWE, and it was in NXT UK. And even then, his matches against Ilya Dragunov,
When he was Walter.
yeah, when he was Walter.
Yeah.
But the one thing I'll say is the Ilya Dragunov, the matches he had with Ilya Dragunov,
Fire.
man, straight fire, dude, straight fire. All right, so the next match we have is a tag team match. This match has a lot of emotion behind it. We have the team of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors, which are the tag team of Asuka and Kairi Sane. I could feel the emotion between Asuka and not Asuka and Kairi Sane, Io Sky and Kairi Sane, because Bobby,
I
I don't know if I don't. You should. You used to watch Lucha Underground, right?
sometimes yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you ever saw this episode, but there was an episode where there were three women who fought. No, four women actually who fought Pentagon Black, as he was known as in Lucha Underground, in a gauntlet match. Two of those four women, well, the name of that stable was the Black Lotus Triad, and two of those women, and they were Io Sky and Kairi Sane. The other two, for those y'all don't want to know, were Angela Fong and uh, who was a WWE developmental talent, and Miyu. Ah, jeez, I forgot what her name was.
Was it Oscar and Io and Triple Tails?
Yeah, yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Miyu, oh my gosh, I forgot the woman's name. Hold on, give me a second. It wasn't Watanabe. Um, hold on. Give me a second. I'm looking it up right now, folks. I want to make sure I get. I know her first name was Mio, and I'm gonna find it real soon. Mayu Iwatani. My apologies. Mayu, if you see this, please don't kick my butt. But yeah, Mayu Iwatani was the other woman in the Black Lotus Triad, and she's actually a phenomenal wrestler. She does a mean Northern Lights suplex, and she was a former Ring of Honor Women's Champion. And I honestly hope she gets signed to WWE. And I want to tell y'all this: if that woman gets signed to WWE and she reunites with not Asuka, well maybe Asuka, but if she reunites with Kairi Sane and Io Sky, Let me tell you, it doesn't matter what stable is there, what female stable is there. If it's fatal influence, they're gonna meet. If it's fatal influence, they're gonna meet with a fatality. If it's what's the what other stable do they have? Whatever other stable they have, they're not gonna be
Oscar
able
and
to manage.
Charlotte?
Oh, they would get slaughtered.
You think so?
That would be smoke that even Ric Flair couldn't even train her for. I'm sorry, bro. Bobby, do me a favor. Like I said, maybe you saw it again. Maybe you saw it before, but if not, look up Pentagon Black versus the Black Lotus Triad.
Okay.
Put in Lucha Underground, Pentagon Black versus Black Lotus Triad, and you will see how. And that's Pentagon's a dude. You will see how brutal they were to that guy. I mean, he beat most of them, but you would see how the brutality in that match that they gave each other. I don't think Charlotte wants that smoke. I don't think Alexa Bliss wants that smoke. Even her alter ego with the little doll from Wyatt Family don't want that smoke. Those are not women to play with. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, if that stable, they were known as three tails. No, freedom. And
Triple tail.
no, triple tails was Asuka, Kairi Sane, and I think, or Asuka, Io Shirai, Mio Shirai, or Asuka, Kairi Sane, somebody else.
Yeah.
But I could tell you, this tag team was known as Freedom, and I could tell you, they're not one. Even Dave Meltzer, who a lot of people don't view as a credible source, he called them three of the best wrestlers in the world. So yeah, if like I said, Mayu Otani, if she signs to that to WWE, it's going to be a wrap. But back to the match. Who you got for this one, Bobby? I mean, lots of emotion. Io Sky and Kairi Sane were great friends. Now they're going to be standing across the ring from each other at Crown Jewel. Of course, Asuka doesn't care because Asuka is, just wants to, put an end to Io Sky. Rhea Ripley just wants to fight, of course.
Yeah.
So, who do you have for this match?
I want to go with Io and Rhea, but I'm thinking this is going to end up something like Kyrie. If you're going to turn, I can see her turning on Asuka because all the abuse she's been taking lately. Or
Yeah,
Io could go back with them and turn on Rhea. So I think I'm going to go with Io and Rhea win if it's straight up a fight. But if something happens, I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors. But I'm straight up fight. I'm going with in my heart is Io and Rhea.
Rhea. Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with. This is gonna be a tough one, but I'm gonna go with Io and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley to pick up the win. I think they're gonna be able to overcome Asuka and her green mist, and they're gonna be able to pull off the win. And this might set up a rift between Asuka and Kairi Sane, which is gonna culminate in a feud. Both those women have actually been tag team champions, but I think now, this is going to be the breakup of the Kabuki Warriors as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. The next match we have is a singles match, and it's going to be the Doctor of Thugonomics, the greatest of all time, John Cena versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. Bobby, who you got for this one?
I'm gonna go with John Cena on this one. I would like to see AJ Styles win. But I think John Cena is gonna take it. I don't see John Cena losing 3 matches in a row. I just can't see it.
Me neither, man. And I'm still pissed at that Brock Lesnar one. Like, they couldn't let the man beat Brock Lesnar once. Like, Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes beat Brock Lesnar. Like, and he did it with a broken arm, if I'm not mistaken. Like, why can't John Cena? Why wasn't John Cena able to beat Brock Lesnar? What the hell?
Ain't the last 3 times John Cena brought Lesnar he lost?
Yeah.
The last 3 times in a row.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Whoever's booking this title, this retirement tour, they absolutely suck. They could have had him finally, conquer, and then the last match you're gonna have him fight. The last his last rumored opponent for this retirement tour is gonna be Rusev.
That's
Make it make sense. What are you
make it,
WWE? What are
bring
you
back
doing?
someone that hasn't we haven't seen in a while. Like make it to be like The Rock or somebody that people like one
And,
of his rivals.
and they
Not
said,
yeah,
you know
I
something?
would not mind seeing John Cena fight The Rock again.
I wouldn't mind that either. But you know, I'm gonna say this right now. I know I could book this stuff, man, because
Yeah.
nobody cares to see. And this is no slight. This is nothing against Rusev. He's a great wrestler. That match he had with Sheamus was hard hitting. Had me on the edge of my seat. No, man. No, nobody wants to see. No,
We know
this
since
is
John Cena has never beaten he's never beaten Sheamus.
how I would book it. No, he beat Sheamus. He made Sheamus tap. I remember that.
He
I
did?
remember that.
I don't recall that.
I definitely remember that. Put John Cena against somebody like for example, put him against what how I would book it, have him fight. Okay, he has this little match with AJ Styles, whatever. I don't care about that match either because it does nothing for me. You know, put him against Brock Lesnar, have him beat Brock Lesnar, and then have him go up against Dirty Dom Mysterio. Have him win the Intercontinental title, and then who did he drop it to? Well, I'd say drop it to Austin Theory, but Austin Theory is hurt. But the only thing that would make me satisfied with this tour, retirement tour, was if he won the IC title, the Intercontinental title, and that's it, because he never won that title before. But other than that, this I don't know. The only thing they did right with this tour was him facing Randy Orton, with him as a heel and Randy Orton as a face. Other than that, this retirement tour was not it, man.
You
I
didn't
don't know.
like that? You didn't like me for our truth?
Oh, and R-Truth, that one was pretty good too. That was a pretty good one. But other than that, I did not care. I did not. Maybe it's John Cena booking it, but either way, I mean, if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. But this is this retirement tour has fell flat like soda,
Well,
man. That's just my opinion.
they said the fans wanted AJ Styles for John Cena.
I didn't want that. Did you want that?
No, but that's you're saying a lot of the people did want to see that.
That's what they said. Speak to the real people. The go on, go on. I bet you right now, if they were to go on the streets and say, who would they have wanted? Would they have wanted John Cena to fight AJ Styles? And a lot of people would be like, nah. But knowing WWE, they're gonna pull the wool over our eyes and go to the people that are gonna say, yes, we want to see John Cena, or they're probably gonna bribe them with some free tickets to say what they want to say. I'm not
Yeah.
stupid. I'm not stupid, man. Come on. But yeah, who you got for this match, man? I don't even care about this now. Who you got for this match?
Yeah, I said John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena, whatever. Next. Anyways, and like I said, this is no disrespect towards John Cena and AJ Styles. I just don't care for this match. It does nothing for me unless they're gonna pull off something fantastic that's gonna be like, yo, that's fire. I don't care for this match. All right, we have two more matches. Um, so the next match we have is a singles match for the WWE Women's Crown Jewel match. Now this one I'm looking for. This one I'll definitely be watching like this. Oh, she did that. Oh, she did that. Yo, this is crazy. All right, so the singles match for the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship is going to be the competitors are going to be the Raw Women's World Champion Stephanie Bakir versus the SmackDown WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. Bobby, who we got for this one, man?
Considering it's her first PLE as champion,
Mm.
I'm going with Stephanie Bakir.
Okay. Wait, you didn't pick the blonde? What's this?
No, I think Stephanie's a better wrestler.
Whoa. What universe am I in, man? Bobby did
I
not.
think she did. I think she's a better wrestler than Tiffany. Do you agree?
Huh?
Do you think she's a better wrestler than Tiffany? I do.
Honestly speaking, I can't dog Tiffany because Tiffany Believe it or not, I think before she got signed to WWE or when she got signed, she went to Vern Gagne's or Greg Gagne's wrestling school. So she's trained outside of WWE. So I wouldn't dog her. And I'm gonna go with Tiffany Stratton. Crown Jewel is gonna be for her. And it's suiting because Tiffany is a woman of luxury. And I think this championship would suit right. So I'm gonna go with Tiffany to pick up the win. Although Stephanie is a great champion, she's been doing her thing. But I'm gonna go with Tiffany for the win. So the next match we have, the final match, the main event, is going to be a singles match for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship, and it's going to be the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who is SmackDown's undisputed WWE champion, versus the Architect, the Visionary, the Revolutionary, Seth Rollins, who is Raw's World Heavyweight Champion. Bobby, who you got for this one?
Okay, I'm gonna give my little synopsis of this. I'm going with Seth Rollins, and not only because I don't dislike Cody. Another thing, I think Cody's in his head right now, and I think something's gonna happen with the Vision that's gonna make Seth Rollins like snap. I think he's gonna do something that we haven't seen him do before, and I think he's gonna end up beating Cody somehow. But I think it's gonna be a good fight. But I'm going with Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman's gonna be here too. So Paul
Oh yeah,
Heyman can do anything. That man's unpredictable.
honestly speaking, I'm gonna go. I got a feeling as
And
much.
another thing, I don't really think Cody needs it. Where are they going to go if Cody wins? Where are they going to bring the story? If Seth Rollins, they could build on that.
You know what I was wishing? I wishing Becky Lynch would have been in this thing too for the women's side, and that way they could be like a crown jewel couple. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
I got a feeling. I don't see Cody winning again. I'm gonna go. And like I said, and for those of you that don't know, I'm actually a Cody Rhodes fan. Trust me, I've been a fan since he even started. But I'm gonna have to go with Seth Rollins winning this time. I think he's gonna pull it off. He's gonna get that crown jewel championship. And this will be a feather in the cap of Paul Heyman because now he says not only did he lead, he could say not only did he lead Seth Rollins to the World Heavyweight Championship, but he led him to the Crown Jewel Championship. And like I said, honestly speaking, I hope they get a fourth man as well in that stable, and they just take all the men's title belts, man. That'd be one hell of a stable. That we haven't seen that since Evolution back in 2003. So
You know what I'd like to see join that
hoping
tag
that
team?
happens.
It's not going to happen.
Well,
Kevin Owens when he comes back.
join
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Vision.
I can see him being a good group of those big guys.
Yeah, but I wouldn't trust Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens might screw it up, guys. Bobby, you know, and I know Kevin Owens is not a guy to trust. He is not a guy.
I think Kevin Owens is a good performer.
Kevin Owens is a funny jerk. That's what he is. He is one of those guys like that will actually. He's one of those guys that are probably the what you. What's it? He'll probably offer you some vodka and actually be just straight water. Like, yo, dude, I'm drinking this like water, man. What is it? This vodka's like water. I'm drinking it. I'm not even getting drunk. He's like, what is it? He's like, oh, water. That's what Kevin Owens would
Could
probably
you
do.
see John Moxley come back and joining them?
It's not happening. John Moxley's under contract with AEW. Although I wouldn't mind seeing this version of John Moxley joining them because this is the John Moxley needed, not Dean Ambrose. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. He's really doing well in AEW as the leader of the Death Eaters, and I like that for him. And in all honesty, he may not be suitable for WWE. I mean, some of those characters like Tony Storm might not be suitable for WWE. So, and MJF is another one too. So, yeah, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. I would like to see it, see a Shield reunion, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I let's say he's having way too much fun over at AEW, and that's not a bad thing. You know, AEW is not too bad either, in my opinion, at least. I know everybody has differing opinions about the current product over there, but yeah, um, So with that being said, that's the card that we just went through, Bobby. Do you have any final predictions for Crown Jewel? Anything that's
Uh,
going to happen? Who's going to make a return?
I
What?
don't I don't see any returns. I think returns will happen during a Survivor Series, maybe, but that's about it.
Okay. So I'm going to say this right now. My prediction is that we're going to see a bigger rift between Jimmy Uso um and Jey Uso. We're going to see more of a rift between those two, regardless of whether Roman Reigns wins or loses this match. I see it. I see a big rift happening, and we're going to see Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso Part Two happening soon. um, Kabuki Warriors, I said, are going to have a rift, and honestly, I'm going to have a bigger rift a- after they lose this match. And honestly, that's all I have. I don't see anything else. I can't think of anything else right now except for Cody Rhodes' match with Seth Rollins is going to have some interference, and that's about it.
You think that's the main event, right?
Yeah, that's most likely the main event.
Yeah, I hope it ain't John Cena and just us.
Nah, I would be upset. I would be like, in all honesty, I wouldn't even care. Put whatever main event because guess what? But by that time, I'll probably be sleeping, or if not, I'll probably be just getting up, trying to
Yeah.
get myself situated for work, or trying to go to Comic Con tomorrow before I go to work. So I don't care what they put as our main event. I mean, it is what it. We Bobby, you and I, and we in the wrestling fans have to understand that they're gonna do whatever they please. They're gonna do what feels suits them, and we as wrestling fans have to learn either we're gonna like it or we're just gonna like just take our money and attention and go elsewhere. You know, do I like that they're going back to Las Vegas for WrestleMania next year? No. So guess what? Now I'm thinking, okay, do I go to WrestleMania next year or do I save my money and go elsewhere? Save that money and go to Paris like I wanted to last year. Save that money to buy maybe a PlayStation 5 or go to another Comic Con in the country. You know, that's what I'm thinking right now. So, or maybe just invest it. You know, or
What do you think about them putting WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year?
like I said, they're gonna do what they want to do. I mean, it's up to us if. And like I said, I'm not defending them nor against WWE. They're gonna do what they feel is best. People have to remember too, this is a business, and that's all they're a public. They are a publicly traded company, so they have that to think about as well too. So they're gonna feel what they're gonna do is they're gonna do what they think is best to gain a profit, and if going to Saudi Arabia is their idea of is what they think is best for them and their company, then who am I to tell them um, about that? I mean, I'm not gonna go most likely because it's all in Saudi Arabia. Will I watch it? I don't know. I'll probably be at work at the time, or on my way to work. So I don't know. But I will say this: if Tony Khan is smart, and Bubba Ray said this too, if Tony Khan knows what's good, he's gonna look into this. And if you also look at it this way, the time differential, Saudi Arabia is 8 hours ahead of us. By the time WrestleMania starts over there, it'll be 12 o'clock over here. So that means by the time they're done with WrestleMania, it'll be like, what, 4 o'clock? So that means you still have time to go about your day. If Tony Khan is smart, he will probably find a way to work with this. Like, okay, y'all got WrestleMania, in Saudi Arabia and starting earlier. Let me see what AEW shows AEW could put on during that time. This is the time for him to do that. You know, this is also the time for people on the indie wrestling scene to also see if maybe they could put something together that's
I
kind of
think
as big as
Tony
WrestleMania.
Khan has too much stuff on his plate.
It's not he has too much stuff on his. It's not just that, but he needs to learn that he can't book everything himself. There's nothing wrong with letting other people book it. There's nothing wrong with letting, okay, hiring some people. Okay, you're gonna work with the women's division. You're gonna work with the um, you're gonna work with you know, these two people fighting for the AEW TNT title. You're gonna work with these people over in Ring of Honor. You're gonna work with the tag team division. You're gonna set that stuff up. There's nothing wrong with that. But
He's
I
doing all stuff.
honestly, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't like to assume, but from the outside looking in, it looks like he's trying to do everything by himself, and you just can't do that. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But um, if he knows it's good, if he's smart, he's gonna look into possibly running a few shows on both those days as well too. And I think other independent events, it would be cool if the indie circuit could come together and put together some events during that weekend as well. But we'll see. We'll see.
I don't think the indie companies have that kind of money to do that.
No, but remember, look at it this way, right? I don't know if you remember, 7 years ago, there was a big independent wrestling show that had people like Penelope Ford, Chelsea Green, and Britt Baker, and you had, um, you had Cody Rhodes, and you had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. That show was the biggest independent show ever, and it actually sold out. It was actually sold out. All right. So, I mean, if they could do that, they could probably do it again. Especially with Derby not being in town, they could probably do it again.
Yeah.
But um, who else was on that show? It was Joey. It was Joey. Oh, geez, look at me forgetting his Joey Janela. You had Kip Sabian, who was Penelope Ford's boyfriend at the time. Now he's her husband. And you had so many people on that show, and it wasn't even a one. I mean, eventually it became AEW, but that was before Tony Khan saw it. Like, hey, I could work with something like this. And he said, what I think he may have happened was he started offering everybody contracts. Some people took it, some people didn't. But yeah, that was one of the biggest independent shows. You got, if you haven't seen it, Bobby, check it out. It's definitely worth watching.
I want to check out that Black Lotus thing after we get off.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing you should check out to the Black Lotus triad match against Pentagon Black. You will not be disappointed. You will be left in amazement by that. But yeah,
You said it's Io and Kyrie?
Io Shirai, or yeah, Io Shirai, if he was known at the time, Kairi Sane or Kairi Hojo, and the other two women were Mayu Iwatani, who's currently Marigold. She still wrestles over in Japan, and Angela Funk, who I think is retired. But yeah, those four against Pentagon Black. And I'm probably noticing then after that match, you might even want to check out more of Lucha Underground because that was a one of a kind promotion.
I remember Rey Mysterio was on there. That's why I remember watching it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely check that out. All right. So with that being said, for those y'all watching, those are the matches for WWE Crown Jewel 2025. We're gonna try to we might have some polls up. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of tired. I might just go to bed and just pass out because it's been a day today. Tomorrow's gonna be another day, and then another day out on Sunday, and then I got I'm gonna be on vacation. I might be halfway around the world. So yeah, um, trust me when I tell y'all, my life does not revolve just around wrestling. I mean it. Like I have other hobbies I'm into, other interests. But yeah, we'll try to have those polls up. We might have them up, but either way, if you have your own opinions and predictions about this show, about this card, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And with that being said, um, Bobby, man, I just gotta say thank you very much for taking time out to be on our show. We really truly appreciate it. We know it was last minute, but you're always welcome on here, and we really and truly do appreciate your participation as well. Um, Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling?
Bobby Stryker on Twitch TV and Bobby Stryker on X, Twitter.
Awesome. And make sure y'all follow him. He's a real cool guy. Like I said, me and this man go back way back, 20 years, man. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Well, no, not really dinner. I already had dinner, but definitely a nap. But before I partake in that activity, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. I'm crossing my fingers that I make it to Indonesia this next week. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at the Remy Blue. I'm also on Blue Sky at remyblue.bsky.social. And I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. And last but not least, our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Ringside Society. Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we sell our official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have hoodies. It's cold outside right now, so we have our hoodies available. We also have coffee mugs. We have 3 different designs, more coming soon. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see great episodes like this one, like our NXT No Mercy predictions. And we're gonna also hopefully be doing a TNA Bound for Glory predictions. Don't quote us on that, but we're gonna try to make that happen. So to see all those episodes, all you gotta do is go on YouTube and type in Ringside Society. And once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. And with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate you, checking out what we have going on. And to those of you that are going to listen later on, you get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well unaware. It's no secret. We get it. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. With that being said, hey, yo, Bobby, I normally don't let guests do this, but you've been out here for long enough to know what it is and what's up. So one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for WWE, and one time for WWE Crown Jewel and the great people of Perth, Australia who are going to witness it. What type of podcast are we?
The Wrestling Fan Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back next week, or maybe this Sunday, with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.